Hello and welcome back to the Jobless Bum YouTube channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be ranking the U.S. state flags in a tier list, and we will be seeing which ones are the best and which ones are the worst. And we're going to be using three criteria to rank these flags. The first criteria is the design of the flag. Is it a good design? Is it a bad design? Are the colors good? Are the colors bad? That's the second criteria. And then the third criteria is the uniqueness of the flag. If it's a very unique flag, if it's a Picasso, or if it's just a standard run-of-the-mill flag, something that you could find any day of the week. And I think it'll be interesting. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. I don't think we'll probably need an F tier, so I'm just going to delete it right off the bat. We're just going to say that the blue background with a crest is our F tier because those are the worst flags. So I'm going to put all of those in there, and then we'll get back to it. First up, we have Alabama. It's not very original. I'm going to put it in the D tier. It's just a red cross on a white background. Pretty generic, and it's not like it's an iconic flag either. No one has ever said, like, oh my god, I love the Alabama flag. So I gotta put it in the D tier. Next up, we got Alaska. I'm gonna rank it A tier because it has to do with how far north it is. I believe they have like the thing where like they have like long nights or whatever because of their geographical position. Maybe even like the longest nights in America. So them having the star formation and the North Star on the flag makes a lot of sense for their flag. And it's a representation of who they are as a state too. So I gotta put that in A tier. It is a bit simple though. That's the only reason I wouldn't put it in S tier. Then we have Arizona, and I gotta say, this is really good right here. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It is a really good flag. I like the design a lot. The colors work pretty well, I think. You know, you got a little sun, a little backdrop of rays of sun, I'm assuming. I really like that design. And then the blue also fits. You know, they're all primary colors, so I feel like they complement each other pretty well. And this is probably the reason why it's not going to be in S tier for me, but the orange star is not really doing anything for me. I feel like you could have done a lot more with that. I don't even know what you would put in there, but what I do know is I don't like the orange star. But Arizona is still an A tier flag in my opinion. Next up, we got Arkansas, and I'm sorry to say, Arkansas, well, you know what? We'll put it in C tier. Is it a bit unoriginal? I would say so. Like they literally just slapped their state name right across the flag. That's the sign of a bad flag, where you can't even tell what it's supposed to be representing. You just have to write it out. So Arkansas is a C tier, just because I like the diamond design with the stars. I think that's a really cool design, but if it did not have that design, it would definitely be in the D tier because I do not like them just putting the state name on there. I think that looks a little bit tacky, and it takes away from the design of the flag. Next up, we do have California. California flag, I'm going to put it in B tier. It is a bit generic, but you do got that bear on there, which is pretty cool. I don't like the fact that they just put the state name on there. So, you know, I'm not really that big of a fan of that, like I said with the Arkansas. However, I'll begrudge them this. The fact that there's some history behind it where I believe they were like an independent country at one point, California was. That's why they have California Republic on there. I think that adds some points to it. And, you know, it's a pretty iconic flag. Like, this is one of the state flags that people will know. So that gives it points in my book, but I think it's a pretty just basic flag, but the bear and the fact that it's an iconic flag put it up there for me. So I'm going to put it in the B tier. All right, next up, we do have Colorado, and this is going to be our first S tier flag. Is it basic? Yes. However, it looks damn good, I think. You know, you got just the red sea, yellow circle in the middle, and then you got the blue and white stripes. You know, the colors complement each other, and its simplicity is, I think, its greatest strength here. Like, I don't know what you would add to make this better, to be honest. And also, again, Colorado, this flag is very iconic. Like, people wear, like, this, like, C, like, on things, like, as a fashion statement. So that's a true testament to its iconic nature. And, you know, Colorado's not, like, you know, the biggest state out there, but in terms of its influence, it's very outsized its size. For that reason alone, I gotta put that in the S tier. So next up, this one is Delaware. I do like the color. I like it a lot. I think this is a pretty good flag. You know, the colors are unique. You got a nice design. It is a crest, but I think it works. I don't know, just considering some of the other flags later on in the list. See, here's the thing with Delaware that I don't like, is I just don't like the idea of a crest in the middle. But I think that the Delaware flag does it pretty good. And you know what, Tom? Since you were so insistent, we'll put Delaware into S tier. It's our list, so we can do what we want. All right, next one we got is Florida. It's basically Alabama, but uglier. They just did Alabama's flag, and then they just put a crest in the middle. Not much to say here. This is really ugly, really unoriginal. It just sucks. And you know what? It makes sense, Florida getting a D tier flag, so yeah. It's just bad. It's just bad all around. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just very ugly. I don't like it. Next up, Florida. Is this Georgia? This one's a weird one. I think I'm going to put it in the C tier. It kind of looks like the Austrian flag, right? But then they put a little thing in the corner of it. It's all right. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's also not garbage like these ones were. So it's a fine flag, but it's nothing special. So we're going to put it in the C tier. We got Hawaii next up, and some people may flame me for this, but I'm going to put Hawaii in the B tier just because this is a historical flag. Did they rip off the British flag? Yes, but I believe at some point they had some sort of relationship with Britain. And, you know, it's not like they did like the Australia or New Zealand strategy where they just put the Union Jack and then they just put a blue field. They did something interesting with this, with the white, red, and I think that's either blue or black. I can't really tell. But those stripes make it look really cool. So it's a bit unoriginal, but I like it. I like it a lot. So we'll put it in B tier. Next up, we have Illinois. I gotta be honest, this is dog shit. This is awful. We're gonna put that in the D tier. It's just a white background. You got a little crest. Then you got Illinois just written across the bottom. I don't like it. It's not a good flag. So we're gonna put it in the D tier. Could have done a lot better, Illinois. And for it, Illinois being such a prominent state, it should really have a better flag. Same with Florida. So that makes it even worse in my opinion. All right, next flag on our tier list, we have Indiana, and I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I didn't put it in A tier. It is a pretty cool flag. I do like it a lot. It's kind of similar to the Alaska flag. You got like that torch, and then you got stars, and then you got a blue background. I think Indiana's pretty cool. I like the Indiana flag. We'll put it in A tier. Next up, we have the Iowa flag. And I'm gonna put it in C tier, but it's like at the bottom of C tier. It's almost D tier. Like the eagle and then whatever this is looks pretty ugly. You got the name of the state on the flag, and then you ripped off the French flag. It's a pretty bad flag, but you know, it's better than the flags that are in the D tier. So we'll put it in C tier. Next up, we do have Louisiana, and I'll put it in B tier. It's pretty cool. You know, you got a little bird in there. Is it like a stork or something? I think that's okay. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's not like it's like a great flag, but it's a solid flag. And I think that's what B tier is. It's solid. Put it in B tier. Next up, we do have Maryland. It's hectic, but it's honestly one of my favorite flags. So we'll put it in the S tier. It's just really cool. You got the checkerboard design, kind of. The diamonds, and then you have that red and white design as well with the cross. It's very chaotic, but it's also eccentric, right? It's so chaotic that it ends up not being chaotic and it ends up being cohesive. I can't really explain it, but it's just so unique that I just love it, and I gotta put it in S tier. Next up, we got Massachusetts. Basically like the same as the Illinois flag. It might be like just a bit above Illinois, but it's a white background with a crest. Like there's not much to say about it. It's pretty bad, not unique. And I think it looks pretty ugly too, so we're gonna put that one in D tier. Then we have Mississippi, the state that I've never spelled right in my entire life. Mississippi is going straight to the bottom of the D tier, just for still having the Confederate flag. You know they lost, right? Like, why do you still have that flag? It's not even the real Confederate flag. I think it's like the battle flag for Virginia or something. I don't know. Regardless, you're losers, and you're at the bottom of my tier list too. So, pog off, Mississippi. What is this one? This one is Missouri. I'll put Missouri in the C tier, just based on the fact that, you know, they could have done a lot worse. It could have been like a crest on like a background of one color. But, you know, you got the red, white, and blue. Like, it's not that bad. It could be worse. And the crest isn't as bad as like a lot of the other crests. It kind of looks similar like to the Dutch flag or like the Paraguay flag as well. Because they have like a little crest in the middle and they have like red, white, and blue. But overall, I think the Missouri flag is all right. It's not solid, but it's all right. Next up, we have New Jersey. And I think the New Jersey flag, because I'm looking at another list right now, I feel like it should be like a little bit more yellow. We'll put New Jersey in the B tier, actually. Is it just a crest on a solid background? Yeah, but I like the colors a lot, and the crest isn't like ugly either. It's like got some nice colors on it. It's still a crest on like a single color background, but I feel like this is about the best you could do with this kind of flag. I like it. I like it. We'll put New Jersey in the B tier. It's pretty solid. All right, next up we got New Mexico, and this is like really solid. I kind of want to put it in the S tier, but I'll put it in the A tier because it is a bit simple, but I just really like this design in the middle. The yellow is a nice change from a lot of the rest of the flags besides New Jersey. It just looks really good. It's simple, but it's elegant, I feel like. It's sleek, and, you know, it's not simple. It's sleek. I like that, so we'll put it in the A tier. All right, next up, we do have North Carolina. We're going to put in the C tier. North Carolina, they had the courtesy to not write out the entire name of their state. They just gave us a little NC. And it looks pretty similar to another flag that we're going to cover later, and kind of to a Chile flag, but it's all right. It's not like the dregs of this flag tier list, but could have done a lot better than this. So North Carolina is going to be C tier for me. Then we got another entrant on our S tier today. Yes, you are looking at the flag of Ohio. I had to put it here just for number one. I am from Ohio, so I do love the flag, but it's also not rectangular shaped. It's a little triangle. It's like a pennant shape. And you got, I believe the amount of stars on the blue background is the number that Ohio was admitted into the U.S. I don't know exactly what that number is, but I'm pretty sure, just from my Ohio State history classes in school, I think that's what it is. You got a little O in here. You know, you might just see that as a circle, but it's actually also an O. I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool flag, really unique. And it's used in like branding and stuff too. Like, for example, this is the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're our hockey team. And, you know, they use the Ohio State flag in the branding. It's so good. So, yeah, I really like the flag a lot. And that's why it's in the S tier. Next up, we have Rhode Island. And honestly, for Rhode Island, you know what? I'm going to put it in the S tier. I really like this one a lot. You know, you got the white background. You got some yellow stars. That yellow and white combination really pops off. And you got a little anchor too, which is pretty cool. And also relevant because Rhode Island is on the coast. I assume has a lot of ships going to it. And it's a freaking island, so that makes sense. I really like this flag, and I think it's a worthy entrant to the S tier. The next entrant on our S tier is going to be South Carolina. I think this is a really cool flag. It is just a blue background, but you got this white palm tree and this crescent. It's just so unique out of the rest of these flags. The fact that they made a unique flag out of having a blue background and just one color is amazing to me, and for that feat, thinking outside of the box, I gotta put South Carolina at the top. Next up, we do have Tennessee. For also being Confederate sympathizers, I'm assuming, we're going to put in the D tier. I mean, come on. I mean, it's kind of original, the design, but the red, blue, and white, I'm not really a fan of. I think it's an uninventive design. Kind of harkens back to that Confederate time period, so I don't like it a lot, and it's at the bottom of my tier list. Next up, we do have Texas, and I'm going to put it in the B tier. Just based on the fact that it is pretty basic. You're not really doing too much with it, but, you know, its simplicity is its greatest charm, I feel like. But you're also not really doing that much with it, I feel like. You just got the red, white, and blue. The state flag is an opportunity to do something different than the American flag, right? And I feel like it's just too similar. I will say it is very iconic. If you like ask someone to like name a state flag, the Texas one is probably the one that they would be able to name. Either that or California, or at least to describe. So for that reason, I'll put it in the B tier, but you know, I'm just not really that big of a fan of it. But you know, real recognize real. Next up, we do have Washington, and I'm going to put it in the A tier. Here's the thing. With being a state named after George Washington, I feel like you couldn't do anything else. I feel like you could not do anything else, right? You have to put Washington on there. You have to put old GW on there. I really like it, and it really breaks the monotony, because I feel like it's the only one with, like, a person on it. I guess Delaware also has a person on it, but I think that's really cool, and, you know, you got the green representing all of the trees in Washington, so I really like it a lot. I think it's a good flag. I don't know what you could do to make it better. Maybe add some, like, design on the background, but it's a really good flag. I really like it. Next up, we have West Virginia. I'm going to put it in C tier, just based solely on the fact that you have a little bit of blue on here, right? It's not like a completely white background, and you got a nice crest. I like the crest. I'm not a big crest guy, but the crest on here feels tasteful, and it's all right. It's not a solid flag, but it's an all right flag. It's not bad. And then we got the final flag of the day, the great state of Wyoming. I think we're going to put this in the B tier. Yeah, we'll put it in the B tier. You know, it's kind of similar to the California flag in the fact that they both have animals in the flag. I like the silhouette of the buffalo. I think that's pretty cool. And, you know, it might just be a blue background, but I think the fact that they have the nice bison in the middle, pretty cool. And they got a little crest in there. I think it's a solid flag. Yeah, I'll say I think it's solid. I think it's a solid flag, and it's a good flag to wrap up on. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of my US state flags tier list, and maybe even bring up some of your contentions. I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to see what y'all think. Again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy the video, as it helps me out a lot, and you'd be doing me a solid. Again, thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.